Okay, so good morning, team. So today I'm going to be talking about Zoho projects. I know that you might be confused of how it's set up because there's so many things that you have to input in it. You have milestones, you have task list, you have task, subtask, and all of those. So why is it necessary to put those all together? Now, just to give you a better picture of it. So this is a picture that I got from one of the tutorials from Zoho, itself. I just edited the names. So like if, for example, I'm going to create a project for Engage Online, like the lead generation project. So I'm going to put the name of the company right here, although you're not really going to make something like this, but it's how it looks like for you to have a better idea of how it's going to, the organization, the branches of how it looks like. So whatever the company is that you put on the header, the first thing that you put is, of course, the name of the company. And then the name of the project, of course, is lead generation, for example. And then the milestones goes there. So like, for example, I put the milestones, email campaigns, LinkedIn, and most activities. And LinkedIn, of course, this is what I'm very familiar with. That's why I started off with this. So you have to make the task list. So there's a task list for invites and follow-ups, and there's a task list for LinkedIn groups. Now, I'm very much familiar with invites and follow-ups, so of course I'm going to be creating tasks for those. And that is where it comes in. Now, there are certain dependencies. Like if, for example, I have to finish checking the accepted invites first before I can send out the follow-up messages. So I can't do the follow-up messages unless I check the accepted invites first. So that's how dependency works. Now, if you need to break down the task into smaller tasks, there's a place for the subtask. Now, let's take a look at this in Zoho projects. Let me go there. So I'm going to click on projects, and of course all of the projects that I have created are here, and also those that are assigned to me. Like, for example, My Boss website upgrade and onboarding. I didn't create this, but Matt assigned it to me, so I suppose that's the reason why it's here. I see that Adrian created onboarding process project, and she also created the Zoho books. I get her notifications here. However, I would need to check more because it's not appearing in my projects. So I don't know why I would have to check that. So let's park that for later. But right now, let me just walk you through, for example, lead generation. Oh no, let's go to My Boss, since that one looks complicated. So for example, for My Boss, if you go immediately to task, okay, if you just create task without making milestones and task lists, okay, it's going to look like this. Even if I, for example, click it on plain view, it's going to look like this. So you have a bunch of tasks all together, and you'll be thinking, which one should I do first. Because it's all together. You can't start off with the ones on top. Let me see. Although it did say here start date. Yep. Okay, and due date. So that's probably why it is in this order. However, it's not divided. It doesn't have, you'll just be seeing this. And then if you click on that, you'd see the, here, the description is there. But there's no particular order. So that's why milestones are really important. Now, if you click on, of course, as in the picture that I gave you, milestones goes first. So if you don't want to get lost, you go to milestones. As you can see, I have already put numbers on there. So if, for example, it goes like this, you'd be able to see it, what goes first and what goes last. So for milestones, I'll click on A to Z. This is overdue, that's why it's there. But as you can see, upcoming milestones are still here. Now, for example, with preparation to creating website, I have, see, it's in order. Unlike when you go directly to task, you'd be confused, where do I start? But if you click on milestones, you make the milestones first and then drill down from there. You create the task list, you create the task after task list, and then you create the subtask after the task. It's going, you'd have a pattern, you'd have a path to what exactly where you're going to, instead of just clicking on task and then getting confused, where do I start? Unless of course you're really familiar, or you're the one who made the project, you'd probably be able to have a better understanding of what happens first. But again, for you not to get confused, you start off with milestones first, then drill down from that. You can go ahead and add a task list if you want to. Now, as you can see, I've put A and B. The reason why I did that is because the last thing that you put would be on top. So it's not like the first thing that you, of course, the first thing that you're going to input is step 1, right? However, as you go about it, you would find that the first step goes to the bottom for some reason. And I can't actually arrange this from A to Z. So it looks like that. That's the reason why I put A and B and 1, 2, 3, so you don't get confused. Now, if you click on letter A, this is your first task list. I have created a number of tasks under it. So I have put the numbers. Luckily, this one is in order, unlike the task list earlier. But let's look at it. So we have number 1, get asset access from client. And then if you click on that, you'd be able to see the description and everything that you need to know. I got this from the checklist from Nino. How was I able to create the website and the onboarding process? I have combined all of my notes from the onboarding checklist that Nino gave me to the phases that he gave me the other day, to all the way back to the conversation that I had with Matt last Thursday. So I combined it all together and created a template. Now you might think, we've already done this. We don't have to do it again. So what you need to do is to basically just close it, because it's already finished, right? So if you're done with these tasks, you just have to close it. So it would know it it would be helpful for the Gantt chart as well. Okay, so close it if you don't need it. Go through each of the steps, and if you feel that, oh, I don't need to do this, you close it. Because of course, I'm not pretty sure if all of the things that I have placed on there are important and necessary. So if you feel that it's not, then close it. You may leave a comment here. So probably when I go back to it, or if anybody would have to go back to it and question why is it closed, it's not yet finished, at least you have placed on your comment there that, hi, I'm going to be closing this task because it's unnecessary, or hi, I'm going to be closing this task. We have already done this part. This is a completed task. So you can go ahead and put your comments there so we would also understand. Remember that we are working far apart and we are working from different times. So Zoho is our tool for us to, of course, engage, even if we have different time zones, even if we have different hours of working, even if we work far apart. It's just proper communication so we can put things together. Okay, so make sure that that you close the task if it's not needed, and put the comments on there to communicate with the person who created it, and make sure to, of course, close it. And if you're finished with it, make sure to close it too, because the Gantt chart is not going to work if you're not going to close the tasks. Okay, it's going to appear there forever unless you close it. So we have to, if the task is assigned to you, like this one is assigned to Adrian and Nino. So I would appreciate if you look into it, check if all of the checklists are okay, if it's good to go, and communicate as well with each other, because I don't know really who's gonna be getting who's who, you know. So if you can communicate together first before you close it, at least we are on the same page. Now, let me close that. You don't have to delete. There's an option for you to delete the task. It's here. But I would really appreciate if you just simply close it rather than delete it. Because, of course, if you delete it and then it so happens that it's needed and it's no longer there, it's pretty difficult to go back to all of the tasks again and check what's wrong and what's missing, right? But if it's already there and you just close it, it's actually just gonna stay on there, but it's just marked out. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Now, that's how it goes. So this is the task itself. If you go back again, there. These are the task lists. Okay, so here we have get asset access from client, determination of inspiration site. Please note that all of the task has descriptions. I understand, Adrian, that you mentioned here that my boss is not getting a new website. However, my boss template was initially created by Matt. So I know that, and Nino said that there is a website to be done, but I'm not pretty sure. That's the reason why it's really helpful that we have these comments and exchanges of messages, even if we're working on in different times. So if I close this, and then once you are done, so if you're done with this, close it. If you're done with this, close it. If you're done with this, close it. Just make sure that you speak with the person. See, the owner is Eric. It's Nino and Adrian. Make sure to talk to each other first before you close it. Same goes